So this morning we will have the objectives and we will identify the IRR in Republic Act number 8190. So and we will check or evaluate if RAA 8190 is applied in our division and realize the importance of our RA 8190 in our profession as a teachers. So Republic Act 8190 has the entitled an act granting priority to residents of the barangay, municipality, or city where the school is located in the appointment or assignment of classroom public school teachers. So this is in general, this Republic Act or law is applicable to all public school teachers, especially those who are still applying for the Teacher 1 position. So let's proceed to the section of this RA 8190. So let's have first the section 1, which is the definition of terms. So we will first tackle about this to understand more the important words that are in this law. So we have first teacher. So teacher refers to a person who meets the minimum requirements for the position as are required by law and standards stand by the department who does actual teaching in a classroom and other learning centers. So next is applicant. It refers to a person who holds a valid certificate of registration, professional license as a teacher from the Professional Regulation Commission or PRC, seeking to be appointed to a Teacher 1 position. So applicant refers to a person who holds a valid certificate to a registration or the PRC license. So if you are a graduate of this department, which is the education, and you want to become a teacher, then the first thing you need to do is to pass the licensure examination for teachers or LET to be able to get the PRC license. So because this is the one of the basic requirements for your application to Teacher 1 position. So next is qualified applicant. Refers to a person who meets the evaluation and selection criteria as prescribed by the Department of Education and who is in the registry of the school division and is a bona fide resident. Okay, so there are different between the applicant and qualified applicant, because when we say applicant, if you are an applicant, you have the basic requirements like the PRC license, but when we say qualified applicant, you already have the evaluation and the standards prescribed by the DepEd for you to be in the RQA or registry of qualified applicant, in which one of the qualification is you need to be a bona fide resident of a particular barangay, city, or municipality. Next is the bona fide resident. So it refers to a qualified applicant who is prior to appointment resident for a period of at least 6 months of a particular barangay, municipality, city, or province where the school is located, as evidenced by legal documents to be identified by the department. Okay, so the bona fide resident. So if you are a qualified applicant already, meaning you met one of the qualification, which is the to be a bona fide resident of a particular barangay where you want to be assigned as a teacher 1. Okay, so to be a resident of that barangay, you need to be living in that particular barangay or resident for at least 6 months. Then the barangay captain will be able to give you the barangay clearance, which will be approved that you are a resident of his or her barangay. So there is also a requirement for you to be a RQA. You need to submit your voter's ID or your voter's certificate, because these are the strong evidence that you are a bona fide resident of a particular city or municipality. So next is secretary. Refers to the Department of Education secretary. So she is Ma'am Leonor M. Briones. And regional director refers to the Department of Education regional director. So he is Sir Celestiano Jimenez. Next is protest. So it refers to the administrative complaint filed by the aggrieved applicant or complainant regarding an appointment or assignment to a teacher 1 made by an appointing or assigning authority or respondent. Okay, so if you found any discrepancy regarding in the appointment of teacher 1 made by an appointing authority, then you may file a protest and you may complain with due process, and we will discuss that later. So next is appointment. Refers to the issuance of original appointment of teachers. That's what I mentioned earlier, the RQA registry of the qualified applicant. So for you to be part of the registry, then you need to make at least 70 points included in the ranking or in the rank. Let's proceed to the section 2, the coverage of RA 8190. So these rules and regulations shall apply to appointment or assignment of teachers in all public school and other learning centers under Department of Education. So knowing this law will be agreed at, especially for those who are still applying as a teacher 1 position in our Department of Education. So we need to know this for us to know what are our lives, what are the things that we need to do in able to get the teacher 1 position. Section 3, filling up of vacant positions. It is the appointment or assignment of teachers to public school and other learning centers of vacant teaching position. Priority shall be given to the bona fide resident of the barangay, municipality, city, or province where the school is located, to know or in no particular order. So we all know that we have a ranking system, and most of the divisions follow the ranking system, like the qualified applicant is rank 1 will be given the priority if there is a vacant position. But stated in this section 3, especially at this part, in no particular order. So this means that when you are a bona fide resident of that particular barangay where you submitted your application, then you will be the priority of filling up the vacant position, provided that the teacher possesses all the qualifications for the teacher or for the position as required by the law and DepEd order. Provided further, among the bona fide residents of the barangay, municipality, city, or province where the school or learning centers is located, the most qualified shall be given priority. Section 4. Recruitment and Selection Process. The school head in turn shall forward the applications to the office of the school division superintendent. The division office shall maintain a registry which shall be valid for a period of 1 school year. The superintendent shall appoint or assign a teacher. The Secretary of Education shall issue guidelines on the hiring of teachers that shall be consistent with RA 8190 and these implementing rules and regulations. Upon approval of these rules and regulations, applicants who are interested in the appointed or assigned public elementary or secondary schools or other learning centers submitted in the place where they are bona fide resident may send their written applications together with the necessary documents to the school head, who will verify and certify the application. Section 5. Protest Procedure for Violations of RA 8190. Aggrieved applicants in the Registry of School Division may file a protest. The protest, which shall be subscribed and sworn to in the form of a letter compliant in 3 copies, shall be filled or filed at the regional office within 90 days from the issuance of the appointment. So as I said earlier, if you found any discrepancies with the regards of the appointing of the teacher 1 position of a certain person, then you may file a protest, but this has a due process that we need to follow. So this is the first one. You need to submit a letter of complaint of 3 copies, and it will be filed at the regional office. Okay, so the regional office will be the one who will answer those allegations. So let's proceed to section 6, which is the sanctions. So any person found guilty of violating any of the provision of RA 8190 and these implementing rules and regulations or any part hereof shall be charged administratively pursuant to RA 6713, otherwise known as the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for public officials and employees, and other relevant laws, rules, and regulations. Administrative sanction for any willful violations of RA 8190 and its implementing rules and regulations shall be imposed as follows. So if the person found guilty of violating the RA 8190, he or she will charge the administratively pursuant to RA 6713, or otherwise known as the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards. So just be careful with any actions. Section 7. Separability Clause. Should any provision of this IRR be subsequently declared invalid or unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity and effectivity of the other provisions. So when we say separability clauses, it is a clause as in a contract which states that provisions are severable, especially a clause in statute that makes the statute's parts or provisions severable. So that one part can be invalidated without invalidating the whole. That is called also separability clause. So let's proceed to section 8, which is the repealing clause. So these rules, regulation, and issuance which are inconsistent with these rules are hereby repealed, rescinded, or amended accordingly. Repealing clause, it is all laws, decrees, orders, resolutions, instructions, and rules and regulations or parts thereof which are inconsistent with this act are hereby deemed repealed or modified accordingly. Section 9. Effectivity. These rules and regulations shall take effect 15 days after its publication in the official gazette or in at least one newspaper of general circulation. So that was the section 9, which is the effectivity. So those are the 9 sections in RA 8190. Thank you for listening and God bless.